Hey guys, Prepper Nurse One here. Today is hold on a second, just have to double check here again. Sunday the 29th of January. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. Had to run into Rochester to pick up my son, drop Kendall back off home, and I stopped and saw my brother-in-law as well. I got a few more things coming. They're not here yet. So, you do what you got to do. But actually, I'll show you what I did pick up, though, which I was kind of happy about. Let's see, 22 super extra standard velocity, 500 rounds of 22. So, I'm always, like I said, my mindset is always prepping first. So anyway, today, the reason that I wanted to talk to you guys today, actually wanted to talk about a really serious topic as far as I'm concerned, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. And it's grouping up before S.H.T.F. Okay. Now I know a lot of people are like, well, it's just just a couple of you, and you got all the supplies and stuff like that. But I want to talk about I personally believe it's really important to group up beforehand. Now afterwards, I'll guarantee you're going to group up. Guarantee you. You will group up with somebody at some point, join a group or whatever. Because here's the thing. What a lot of people don't realize, most people will take security over their freedoms, okay? So if you got a group of people that say, hey, listen, you come in with us and you'll be safe, and they may have some rules that you don't like, but you're not going to get killed, you're going to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll go with them. It's just human nature, okay? So let's talk about a couple of things and why it is so important to group up before S.H.T.F. as opposed to afterwards, okay? Now, let's talk about the fact that in the United States, there are at least, I think they said there's 500,000 militia, okay? So not groups, but people, as far as numbers. So 500,000 men or women that are part of some form of a militia, okay? Now let's be 100% honest. Most of those militia are white, okay? And you are talking about people that are trained, they're armed, they're prepared, they're ready. They've been ready for a long time. They continue to get ready. Okay? So what are they going to do after an SHTF situation happens? Now that's the $64 question. That's what we don't know. You know what I mean? That you don't know what they're going to do. Okay? But it could be good, it could be bad. You don't know. So talking about, even like in your neighborhoods, getting together with different neighbors and talking and seeing who would be interested in forming a group if something went wrong. Those are really important things to do. Now, I've made a couple contacts here where I live, talked to a few people and stuff like that. And, it's I've already made some, contacts with some people. And then I actually have somebody, another guy that's a YouTuber, and I won't mention his name, that is in Rochester area. He's actually already been out here. He actually already has supplies in place out here. So, and he's a good dude. And, him and I have had a few decent talks. And so, we have definitely decided we're going to work together. So, I mean, and that is important for a couple of reasons. Knowing who you can trust ahead of time is very important. You don't, after an SHTF situation, the bets are off, guys. I mean, it's going to be a chaotic situation, very highly stressful situation. You don't know who's going to try to kill you to take whatever you have. I mean, that's a real possibility. So again, there are safety in numbers, okay? And that's the biggest part of it. I mean, realistically, it's the safety in numbers thing. So the more people that you have in your group, the more people that are willing to do, the necessary things. And you have to have some form of rules. There has to be. So, it's not as long as they're not like crazy lunatic type of rules, but, everybody works or you don't eat. Everybody pitches in, even some small way. I mean, even if it's watching the little kids, You know, somebody has to watch them, so that's part of the whole thing. It's a group collective of everybody working together, and it's not. And here's the thing: is I think a lot of people have a misconception of it wouldn't be just the men standing watch and handling the firearms. The women would too, and the kids like 12 and up, they would also. I mean, you know, you're gonna have to. It's a whole different ball game if it's a S.H.T.F situation. I mean, and like I said, you know what? There's so many different scenarios that could happen that it's just I'm not even going to begin to speculate on any one thing. But there's so many things that could happen. And being prepared, you know, it's not being paranoid. A lot of people think, oh, you know, if you're a prepper or a homesteader, off-gridder type of person, then you're paranoid. You know, you think the end of the world is coming and blah, 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 and all this type of stuff. It's not about that. It's about being prepared for whatever's going to happen, okay? Because eventually, something's going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind that eventually something will happen. So the more prepared you can be ahead of time, the better advantage you have. And that's realistically what it's about, guys. I mean, think about it. The more supplies you have, the you know, be it solar or food and medical supplies or just any other type of supplies, the more of that you have ahead of time. If a worst case scenario happens and like the balloon went up tomorrow and holy crap, this is it, okay? You're not scrambling around going, oh my God, what am I going to do now? You have a plan in place, you follow your plan, you do what you have to do. I mean, that's the way to do it. That is the smart way to do it. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Actually, I'll show you this guy real quick here. It is snowing again. We've had like off and on flurries. We had, the other day we had about 3 inches of snow. And we haven't really had much today, but just some light flurries as far as that goes. So I just wanted to show you that. But anyway, you know, the situations, I mean, I do a lot of thinking on the subject, obviously. It's one of my things, one of my hobbies, if you will. And, I believe in, like I said, trying to get to know your neighbors, see who's willing to work with you. If you can get them to prep and have supplies, that's less that you got to worry about. Okay, now the disadvantage of numbers, okay? You got a larger group, you got more people to feed. That's realistically the biggest disadvantage. You may have more chance of sickness with a larger group of people, because everybody crammed into small quarters depending on what you have or in your area and whatnot. Those could be issues as well, okay? But the thing is, with a larger group, you're going to be able to fight off small bands of people trying to raid and take things from people, okay? And once you, like I said, here's the thing, somebody had made a comment. Let's say we had a garden up here and another group was trying to see what we could do, and they had 10 small children, they said, raiding your garden. What would you do? Are you going to shoot those children? The answer is yes. If it's a worst case situation and they're taking food out of the group's mouth, you do what you have to do. I mean, that's just reality. I mean, it's not pleasant to think about, but you have to be realistic. You're going to do things to survive that you never thought you would possibly even think of conceiving of doing. I mean, if you want to do an experiment, here's a little experiment I'd like somebody to do, and tell me what you think about this, okay? Don't eat nothing for 3 days. Just drink water. Don't eat anything for 3 days. And see how bad you want to have something to eat after 3 days, okay? It's, so now let's magnitude that by, 2 weeks of not having really anything to eat. Small meal here and there. You'd be pretty desperate. And you would be willing to do whatever it took to get food. Especially if you have children that are starving, you are going to do whatever you have to do to survive. It's just human nature. And it's not good, bad, or indifference. It's just the way it is. So what people need to think about, you got to think about these things ahead of time. So, okay, getting together with a group, getting together with people that you trust, that you know you can count on, that are going to have your back and you're going to have their back, that is hugely, hugely important. I don't care who you are, you cannot do it alone. I don't care what you think. Here's the thing is, one mechanical injury. Let's say there's you, your wife, and you got 2 kids, and you're the main guy, you're the main man, you're ex-military, and you have all these skills and stuff like that. Well, you're one twisted ankle from being down. And now who's picking up that slack, okay? you are one bad meal away from food poisoning, or you get the flu and you're down for 2 weeks. Who's picking up the slack? Then you're easy pickings. So you need to realistically think about those things. If you have a large enough group, and let's say half the group is down being sick, well, at least you still have the other half of the group there to take care of things. And that's what it's all about. People you trust know that they have your back and you have their back. And I had a lot of people say, well, there's really nobody that I trust. You need to find some people. You need to find people that you can count on, that they know that they can count on you too. And having more people prepping in a group, in a larger number, if you got, you know, like me and the kids, we have a certain amount of food that we have stashed away, okay? So I know that me and my kids are going to be good for a certain amount of time, and I'm not even going to say how long it is, but it's a certain amount of time. Well, if I have 3 more people show up empty-handed, that cuts those rations in half, okay? So if I can get somebody that is also prepping, and they come and there's 3 more people, and they have, the same amount of supplies that I do, now we go, okay, now we got a group of 6, and we have, enough food for all of us for whatever amount of time it is. Those are the things you got to think about. It's real, real, real important. I mean, I know I'm going on about that, but, it's just, it's something that's really important, and I want you guys to think about that. Please comment, like, share the video. Let me know what you think. Please share your thoughts. This is something that I think is really, really important that we really need to address. And I want you guys out there to really think about this, okay? Because it's really important to be safe. Safety is key. Let me know what you think. Give me your comments. Tell me what you think, and we'll go from there. So listen, guys, I'm going to end this video. Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. You never know what's going to happen, so it's very important to let people know how you feel about them. And again, from the video yesterday, thank you so much for all the comments about my buddy Reese. I do appreciate that. And, like I said, he's in my thoughts. And hopefully, things pull through for him and he does okay. And they can figure out really what's going on with him. And also, remember, guys, it's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. You're going to get to where you need to be. You're going to reach those goals, and you can do it. Anybody can do it, okay? So I will talk to you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.